ready to bring you episode 2, of the Acolyte, Revenge/Justice. I'm really excited about this. Episode 1 I really liked, and yeah, I'm really excited to see how this turns out. So episode 2, we open up on Omega at the Jedi Temple, and we have this like local kid basically or whatever, kind of like activating the security droid and like making the kid making the security droid know like that kid's there or whatever. And the security droid's like, "Shoot, fly, don't bother me." During that exchange with the kid, though, May, who we now know is May, throws like a shortening like puck or something onto it, short circuits the droid. She flips the kid some money, he takes off, and then she's able to enter the Jedi Temple. In the temple, we see a Jedi meditating. This is Master Torben. This is the guy who played the young king, who threw himself out the window in like the later seasons of Game of Thrones. It's really great to see him back in genre again. I'm sure he acted in other things after Game of Thrones, but it was really great to see him here. And but this dude is just like meditating, eyes closed and everything. May doing the same old spiel that she gave to Indara, we have unfinished business, attack me with all of your force. There's no movement at all from Torben. May attacks, but there's this like force protective bubble around him, and we just get like these like kind of really great sight gags of May over and over again trying to attack Torben, figuring out how to kill him and or like attack him, break this force bubble, and it was just like really comical to me. I found it very funny, but I really loved it. I thought it was really great, like sight gags and stuff. So I found it amazing. The music, though, and the reason why I say this is like I found it amusing. The music made it seem like it was supposed to be a way more intense, kind of like darker kind of moment, and just the way that it was shot and stuff. I don't know. I just found it funny. Like it made me laugh, but I love this scene. It's like really good. And then we like in the distance, we hear like a master of the temple kind of like, "Hey, there's been a break-in," and May jumps up through the ceiling and like leaves. Then we get the title sequence. The Jedi, we're back on Karlak with the Jedi / their ship. Jackie is struggling to start it. Osha gives her like a nice little tip. Jackie's like, "Oh, you're a pilot?" And she's like, "Nah, I'm a Metnik." And that's where Jackie was like, "Whoa, I thought only R2 units were." She's like, "Yeah, but..." And Osha's like, "Yeah, but I'm better company, more flexible." And then like her pip droid starts like going and she's like, "Okay, well, Pip is flexible too." And then we get a little cut to like Yord and Soul talking, and Yord's just like, "I protest not restraining her." And Soul's like, "You think she killed Indara?" And Yord's like, "You don't? Like, how can you not?" And he's like, "May couldn't have taken down a Jedi," and Osha had, Yord is convinced that May couldn't have taken down a Jedi, and Osha hasn't trained in 6 years. And Saul is like, "Don't let fear cloud your judgment here, Yord." We get a call to Vernestra here, and she's like, "Twins?" She's like, "Twins?" And he's like, "Yeah, May presumed dead for 16 years. May is responsible." And Vernestra's like, "I am inclined to agree." And Soul's like, "What do you mean now?" And Vernestra tells Soul about the break-in at the temple in Omega. And And Asher's like, it is an exact description matching OSHA, but could have been her. She's in custody with you, which all of you say that she is. So, and Soul's like, well, what do you want me to do? Do you want me to investigate, or do you want me to bring her in? And Renes's just like, investigate, bring OSHA. She could be an asset. The Jedi then, set their course for Olega and not escorting OSHA back. And Yord isn't super happy with this, but OSHA and Soul get a little like one-on-one here, and OSHA's like, Torben is on Olega, OSHA, and Yord's like, OSHA should not be like unrestrained. We should not be doing this. We should be bringing her in. And Soul's like, no, the Jedi agree with me, so she's coming. We're in the Olega like markets. Maya's walking through. She gets to a storefront, calls for Kamir, and who we see like is just sleeping kind of like in the back corner and whatnot. And she throws a cup near him, wakes him up, and it's all like, whoa, startling and whatnot. And she's like, what are you wearing? He's like, I'm trying to blend in, He's like, I took it off the shop owner, trying to blend in with like, clothes from the area and stuff. And she's like, well, can you do it without sampling? And he's like, well, was there trouble with Torben? Like, took you forever to get like back here. And she's like, no, I couldn't break through. There was this like force bubble around him. And so she is she's like, I don't know what to do. I gotta like figure out how to get in there. Still gotta kill a Jedi without a weapon. And you're running out of time, and Jedi is what Kamir is saying. And she's like, she needs a poison, basically, is where she lands with Torben. And she does Bunta, which is from her homeland of Brendoct, her and Osha's. And she's like, well, I still have 2 left, and if I kill one of those 2 without a weapon, then I will please the master. And she's like, I need to do this my way. And he's like, and Kamir's like, well, I need a drink. Our job is so stressful. And he's like, but I believe what I said, what I was saying, like, everyone has a weakness, and you just got to find Torben's here, like every Jedi, like, the Jedi justify galactic dominance in the name of peace. And then May like cuts him off like really quickly, and it's like, peace is a lie. I know. They all, he thinks he found peace, or they think that they found peace. You need to be able to give them something that only you can provide. Absolution. And as he says that, Kamir is giving May the Bunta poison, basically. And she's like, thank you. And, don't tell the master. Won't bode well for either of us. And he's like, of course. Then we get a cut back to the Jedi ship. Osha is just fixing up Pip. Soul is approaching, and she's like, I'm trying to sync the ship's levels, and to get the levels, and I like just can't. I wish I could. And she's like, what? And Soul's like, well, what's that? Pointing towards the tattoo. And she's like, oh, I got that in Corpse Sack, on a crazy night out or whatever. You hate it, don't you? It's like, it doesn't matter what I think. And then they start asking, like, having the question of, like, do you believe May is behind Indara's murder? You know, then so it's like the only way to explain it, like, she must have survived somehow. We don't know how she survived or anything. And like Osha's like, even though you saw her, like, yeah, you know, like, I wanted to save you both. You know, I like, so it's like, I wanted to save you both, and like, we, you know, we haven't seen this yet, so we don't really know like what happened. We know that there was a fire. There was an attempted saving of May. That Soul and Osha like clearly saw, like May succumb to something or whatever. And you know, like, Osha's here. It's like, it's not your fault, Soul. Like, you know, he's like, I know. I've made peace with what happened on Brendock. She's like, yeah, you tried to teach me, you know, accept what I lost. Just not a very good student. And Soul's like, perhaps I'm not a very good teacher. And that was very interesting. And that was something, again, of like, oh man, is there the cracks in the Jedi? Because like, May has clearly been trained somehow to, I mean, like, most people can't fight hand to hand like that with most Jedi and still like live to tell the tale about it. So like, her beating Indara was great. Asking a lot of questions here. We arrive at Olega, the you know, Soul and Yord and Osha and all of them, and like the master there is like, I didn't think Coruscant would care about our little break-in. And Soul's like no BS. It's just like, it might be connected to another investigation that we have going on. We see like May is in there with Torben. The Olega master is explaining what happens, brings forth the little kid. May to Torben is like, do you remember me? I know why you took the Barash vow. The Barash vow is something that is brought up in the New Republic like book series. Specifically, it was created by author Charles Soule, who's a really great dude. I have had the pleasure of meeting him at C2E2 here in Chicago. He is a wonderful guy. I can't speak highly enough of him. If you ever get a chance to meet him at Comic-Con or a meet and greet for like High Republic book or any of the comics that he's doing or whatever, highly recommend go checking him out. He was a really cool dude, really great guy. But yeah, so it's created in the by Charles Soule. The Barash vow is introduced in like the we see it with Charles Soule in the Darth Vader comic #2. And the Barash vow basically is described as a Jedi who take it as Barash vow is described Jedi who take it as those who feel they have done something deeply wrong, particularly a misinterpretation of what they believe the Force wanted them to do. And while they don't leave the order, they decide to sit and listen to the Force until they better understand themselves and what it is saying. So the Barash vow is named after Barash Sylvan. And after a mission in Barash Sylvan, after a mission on Gensvir, there was like a siege that led to much bloodshed, and Barash, she vows not to act on the Force again until she can hear the Force more clearly. She was not the first Jedi to choose to like take a pause like that and acting on behalf of the Force, but her pledge was the one that became most known. I got a lot of this from the StarWars.com article by Amy Ryu, and that was great. That was a great article. Gave me a lot of really great information about the Barash Vow that I didn't really know because, like I said, I haven't read most of those comics or the books or anything like that. But I do know in that Darth Vader series, Darth Vader, it's post Order 66, so he has to go bleed a Jedi's kyber crystal to get his own like red lightsaber at this point, and so he decides to go after any Jedi who were taking the Barash vow prior to Order 66 happening. Anyone that had been like known to do it, and so like in that issue, Darth Vader goes and attacks somebody who is taking the Barash vow. It's pretty crazy, but so yeah. Then so May is like, I know why you took the Barash vow. You know, she's like, thought I'd give you peace. You know, but the past haunts you. And then we get a cut back to the kid, to Osha, and like, you know, they're like, why'd you do this? And she's like, she paid me. And he's pointing to like Osha, and Soul's like, I want to speak with Master Torben. And the master who greeted him was like, Torben hasn't spoken to anybody in over 10 years. And Soul's like, he will speak to me. We get a cut back to May to Torben. She's like, I offer you a choice. Confess your crimes to the Jedi Council, or seek forgiveness from me right now. Torben's eyes open up. Oh man. Wow. Soul and crew are making their way through the temple. We get cut back to May to Torben. You know, she's like, face the past. Torben lowers himself. It's like, I've been waiting for you, May. Osha breaks off. We get a cut back to the group. Osha breaks off from the group. Yord sees this and follows her. Torben to May now. We get a cut back to Torben, and he's like, forgive me. We thought we were doing the right thing. And drinks the poison. Soul feels the death of Torben now. Osha is the first to arrive to see Torben dead, May gone, bottle of poison there. All of the others arrive, and Osha's like, I know this looks bad. And Yord then pops out and is like, Osha did not do this. I watched her when she broke off from the group. When we arrived, Master Torben was already dead. And then they started investigating because Yord, you know, somebody who's been very anti Osha the entire time, clear as day, is seeing that it wasn't Osha because he followed her from the point of when they were all together to where she split off and went there. So he knows for a fact, and everybody knows that he's been dogging Osha a little hard, you know, not really, you know, believing her or anything like that. And so this has been really great. That was really great. So there's no signs of struggle. They're like, wow, so Torben took his life like willingly. Like, why kill himself? And it's just like, this is Bunta. And then we get to the like temple overlook. I can only probably kind of describe it. The Jedi are observing a shop. And one of them are like, that's not our regular guy, you know, that's somebody new who like snuck in there and like just kind of like popped up there or whatever. And they're like, plans? Like, Yord's like, we'll set up a perimeter, and you know, we'll watch until all of this stuff happens, and then you know, we'll catch May as she goes there. And Jackie gets a much more concise and overall better plan basically sent out. Jackie's like, send her in, we monitor, get a lead on May, and a confession for killing Torben. And Saul's like, that's a good plan. And Yord protests in giving Osha a weapon to go in there. And Yord is just like slapped down, like, be quiet, young cub. So they enter, or Osha, gets down there. She picks up a cloak, walks her way into the shop. It's covered up like how May is, and has a really weird conversation with like Kumir, sorry. Really odd conversation. It's like it's like heavy and awkward. And he asks like if the poison worked, and he's like, "Oh, did you kill without the poison?" And it's like really kind of impressed for a second here, like, and it's like, "Oh, he will be pleased." And Osha right away is like, no, I used it, I wanted to thank you. And as this is happening, like, Kamir like gets a weird look on his face. He's like, you're being weird, why, like, something's not up here. So he gets a little bit closer to her, and he's like, wow, you look so much like her. And then all the Jedi move in, all of the exits are covered, and basically they're like, we know you supplied the poison to May, and he's like, that's not my thing. I didn't know what she would use it for. And that's like the classic like henchman excuse, like, I just did what I was told. I didn't know what they were gonna use it for. I'm so sorry. Soul's like, cooperate with us, maybe consider giving you a warning only. And Kamir's like, thanks, and please don't do the memory wipe thing on me. And they're like, what's your relationship to May? He's like, I'm just her supplier. I used to run guns for the Hutts. Now this. And Kamir is moving a little bit closer to Yord, and Yord is behind Kamir, like cutting off the exit that way as Soul is approaching Kamir. And Soul is like, who is he? Kamir looks up at Yord and is like, I thought he was with you. And he's like, does May have a master? And he's like, I have no idea what's going on with her. No idea. All I know is that she wants revenge on 4 Jedi. And he's like, well, hold on. I will help you get her, because she is supposed to be back tonight. And yeah, let's spring a trap for her. So that's what they do. Yord takes watch. Jackie goes back to the ship. Osha and Soul will return tonight. So later that night at the shop, Yord and Jackie are talking back and forth about what's going on and everything. Jackie's, there's no signs of anything. Yord's like, I got a bad feeling about this. Think this is lying, you think she's lying, this is a trap. Jackie's like, hey, stick to the plan, don't interfere. Soul wants to face her himself. We get Osha and Soul, kind of talking, and she's like, I will confront her. He's like, I must face her alone. You brought me here, you knew how this would end. And Soul's like, I didn't know you were still so angry. And Osha's like, she killed my family, destroyed my life. And Soul's like, this is grief. You gotta let it go. She's like, you are not my master. I do not need your permission to go out and confront her. I deserve justice. And Soul's like, you want revenge? Look what it's done to her. I couldn't have saved her as a child. Let me try now. And Soul walks away. But Osha is like, she wants to kill 4 Jedi from Brendok. From 16 years ago, Indara, Torben, Kalnaka, and you. You have faith in May and me. Then we get May's arrival. Yord makes May right away. Jackie kind of moves in. Soul calls her out and is like, "You survived, and you killed Indara and Torben." And May attacks Soul. This is a great fight. This is great fight choreography here. I loved it so much. Um, Soul is asking like, "Why, why attack me without a weapon?" Um, and it's like great call out, Soul, great call out. But we also get like just great Soul action. Like May takes swing and misses like Soul saber again. Soul ends up like disarming May, um, and Soul's just kind of picking her apart. Like, you misunderstand the Jedi arts. Your master has failed you. Who trained you? And like he holds May, and he sees that May doesn't even know her master's identity. She's like, "Get out of my head." And after all this time, like Soul's like, "Wow, after all this time, your mind still goes to your sister." And Soul's like, "She is alive." And May attacks, Yord, like grabs, like kind of like stops it, and like is like, he speaks the truth. Like Osha lives. And then Yord and Jackie like really move in. May does what I can only call the sandblaster move, in which like a bunch of sand gets blown up, and as like Jackie is like above them and Yord is kind of around right there, a bunch of sand gets blown away, spreads all the way out, and May is basically able to escape. Jedi head to the city gates. Osha heads her own way and ends up finding May. May is running through the streets. May and Osha see each other face to face. They lock eyes, and Osha shoots a stun gun and misses, and May takes off. We get a cutback of Soul and Venstra, and she's like, "I made a small council. An old Padawan going rogue is one thing, trained outsider is something else. We need to." Soul's like, "We know where she's going next, to go find Kelnaka," and Vernestra's like, "We don't make decisions lightly. Like, we do not make decisions like this without like counsel and stuff." May ends up attacking Kamir back at the shop, and he promises he can get her out and can get them to Kofar, where the Wookiee Jedi is. Then we get a little cut to Kofar, and it's Kelnaka. Like, we get these scavengers basically coming up on, and they're speaking Hutnese, and they're just scavengers, and they're like, "Oh, we can take all this stuff from here." And Kelnaka shows up and screams in Shaiwook, and pulls their like blasters from them, breaks them, and those scavengers just run off. And then we see Kelnaka walk back into his house, and this is then the end of the episode. And I gotta say, these first two episodes were great. I really like the I really like that they gave us these first two episodes together. I like in the title sequence that they have like kind of like these two blue and red like circles, like a blue circle and a red circle for the two circles, and they're slowly like moving together to make like one solid O or overlap, or maybe even then go past each other. So that's been really cool to look at and see. And Acolyte's been really sweet. I love the character of Osha and May, like Amandla Sternberg. She's killing it, playing like both roles and everything. Like it's awesome. I don't know. I like this show. I like it. I like this like investigation we kind of got going on here. I'm excited to see Kelnaka. And yeah, man, I like it. It was insane seeing the Jedi Master just like kill himself with poison. Like that was really like crazy to see. I can't believe that happened. That's like still like wild. But this episode was great. These first 2 episodes were great. I'm really enjoying the Acolyte so far. It's been a lot of fun. I'm really enjoying being in a whole new time of Star Wars that I really don't know much about of what's going on here. I haven't, like I said, I haven't read any of the books, haven't read any of like the comics that take place in like this this timeline, or not timeline, but this time or this era or whatever in Star Wars. So yeah, I'm really excited to have these new things here. I'm interested to see what we get more of this stranger person, if we get more of them in the future, or if we get or what that leads to. So yeah, I'm really excited with what they still have left to do for us. The first 2 episodes were really sweet. I'm excited for episode 3 to dive into that. So with all of that, I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up. I am JimmE with the Triple C. I want to thank you all for joining us today. Please like and subscribe to our video and to our channel. And as always, may the Force be with you.